Hey everybody, welcome back to Stock Ventures. Today we're going to be talking about how to pick out a stock and how to read some chart data and stock data. Basically, if you're ever looking up a stock, just look it up on Google. And I recommend you guys go to Yahoo Finance because it gives you like the overview of how the stock market and how the stock is doing. So up here, it'll give you the three major indexes of the stock market. These kind of tell you how the overall market is doing. So now, look at Walmart stock. This tells you at close for January 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It closed at $144.64. This usually is fluctuating. This price usually goes up and down when the stock market is open, but since it's closed, currently it's not moving a lot, or it's not moving at all. Sorry. So now for chart data, there's so much that I can tell you guys about. It's just so complicated, but after doing all my research, I found that this is like the most important thing you need to know. Go to the 5-year chart. If it goes up, if it's uptrending, then you have a pretty reliable stock. If it's downtrending, leave. Like, you don't want that stock. All right, now that we got through the chart data, if you're curious how it's done in like a day or 5 days or a month or 6 months or 1 year, it's all there for you to look at. It's not too complicated. Like, wherever you move this little ball on the right, you can see a little black square thing, whatever it is, $131.63. And like, you just follow the ball and it tells you like where it went and if it dropped or whatever. That's just for the stock information for that. Okay, next for the stock information, all this stuff, yeah, it's important, but I'll just go over it really briefly because this can be like a 30-minute long video, but I'm pretty sure you guys don't have the time for that. So this just tells you the previous closing price. So yesterday, or not yesterday, January 14th, it closed at $146. For today, it opened, meaning when the stock market opened at 6:30, this was the price. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means it started there and then it went up eventually, or it went down in this case. It's not super important, but it just gives you that information. The bid and ask, these things are more important for experienced traders, and these are usually like the options calls, like buys and stuff like that, but that's more complicated. Don't worry about that. If you're a beginner and you're investing, don't worry. The days range, it kind of tells you how much the stock fluctuated throughout the day. So the lowest it ever went that day was 143. The highest it ever went was 145. Now, like I said, it's just information. Same thing for the 52-week range. The lowest it ever went in 52 weeks, which is like about a year, or maybe even longer actually, was $102, and the highest was 153. Like I said, not super important. It's just information right there. Volume, basically this is the amount of shares that were bought and sold that day. So just for the one day, throughout this whole day, like I said, it starts in the morning and it closes at like around 3 or 4. 10 million shares, or close to 11 million shares, were bought and sold throughout the day, back and forth. That was for that day. Normally 7 million shares are bought and sold throughout the day. This is just the average volume of like the whole stock information, like throughout every single day for a month. The average was about 7 million shares bought and sold that day. Not too important, like I said, just information for you to know. Next thing is market cap. This just kind of tells you how much money the company has in stock money. So this just fluctuates based on the stock price. So if this were to go up, then the market cap would go up. If this were to go down, then the market cap would go down as well. Just information, not super important. Same thing for PE ratio, EPS, beta monthly. Like, these things, they're important, yes, but if you're trying to pick out a stock and you're trying to understand the stock itself, these aren't going to really tell you too much. The PE ratio will, but currently, because of the whole pandemic, it kind of made all the PE ratios kind of crazy. So you might want to wait until a year until you actually take these more seriously. Like, right now, they don't really make sense to take into consideration when buying a stock. The next thing is earnings date. This is the day that they're going to give guidance for their stock. So February 18th in 2021, they're going to say, hey, we think the stock is going to do this. We think our company is going to be able to do this or this. And they basically like give you information about the stock that day. It's important. They could give good news or they could give bad news. If they give good news, it's going to go up. If they give bad news, it's going to go down. And sometimes, weirdly enough, even if they give you good news, it'll go down. So just be prepared for that. It's normal. You're not going to go down from like 144 to like $1 in a day. That doesn't happen. Okay. Okay, next, the expected dividend date means basically for you to get the dividend that they offer, which is 1.49%, you have to have bought Walmart stock on December 10th, 2020. So if you bought on the 11th, you're not getting the dividend for this time. You'll get the dividend for the next time. And I think Walmart offers a dividend every like maybe 3 months. So you'll get the next one. You won't get this current one. It's okay if you're investing long term. Don't worry too much about it. You'll get your dividend eventually. Basically, this kind of means this dividend yield, whatever. If Walmart were $100, you would get $1.49 roughly, and that's for having at least one share of Walmart. That's dividends. It's not too complicated. In my other videos, I explained it more, so go back and check those if you don't understand dividends. Now to this stuff, this is really opinionated. All the fair value related research, this is just Yahoo Finance team. They're kind of giving you information on what they think will happen. So they think in a year, Walmart stock will reach $162. Right now it's $144. That doesn't, whoops, sorry about that. That doesn't mean that it's gonna reach this price. This is just what they estimate, so don't take that too seriously. Same thing for this, chart events. This is just kind of like an algorithm that detects patterns. That doesn't mean it's gonna stay bearish forever, so don't worry too much. And then the short term, midterm, long term, they just predict all this stuff. It's not like guaranteed, set in stone that this is gonna happen. Now that you guys understand some of the chart data, make sure to look at the 5-year and some of the stock data that they give you. Now, if you're ever wondering why does the stock go up and down for the day, you just want to scroll down right here and they're going to give you information about the stock. So it went down. See, you're like curious now, why did it go down this day? Well, because if you see the news, e-commerce CEO steps down, so stock declines. This is a pretty decent big event for you to take into consideration. So people saw that and they're like, well, we got to sell some of our stock. That doesn't mean the stock's going to crash. It just means that's why it went down a little bit, because some people got worried and they were like, okay, I'm going to sell some of my stock. Doesn't mean it's a bad company or anything. It just means some people got chicken and they sold it. Meaning Walmart, you know, it's gone up and down all this time, but eventually it should continue its trend. If it's been doing it for 5 years, then you can kind of count on it going up for another 5 years. So don't worry. Invest safely, do your own research. This is pretty much all the information I can give you guys. If you guys are more curious, they give you also chart data, conversations of people throughout the day. So throughout the day when the stock market is open, people are talking on here, and you can also sign in and post messages, and people just basically talk about the stock market. They talk about this stock particularly, and they give you statistics, historical data, whatever you need. It's all on Yahoo Finance. I love this thing. But other than that, I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I hope you guys have a great stock venture.